Hi, popping in from like a week later to kind of give a little explanation of what I'm trying to do in this video. It might just look like a regular vlog, but in fact, it is a regular vlog disguised as something different. I've disguised it as an emotional glow up day. I wanted to try to do a vlog where I was being more proactive in my recovery because I feel like I've been letting it take a backseat and I wanted to really focus on it and take care of myself. So I wanted to share some of the goals for the day. Goal number one is to obviously eat 3 meals and multiple snacks throughout the day, listening to my hunger cues and like what my body wants, and listening to my mental hunger cues as well, because that's something that people often forget about when talking about recovery. The second is to move my body in a way that is intuitive and it feels good to me. Personally, going on a nice walk outside is something that I would totally love, only if I want to, of course. Next is to listen to an episode of Food Psych or to listen to a book that's about anxiety or anti-diet. I love the Food Psych podcast. It's one of my favorites by Christy Harrison. I highly recommend it. I also am listening to this audiobook right here about anxiety, and I just ordered Anti-Diet by Christy Harrison that I'm going to start reading. Also on my list is to have a therapy appointment and to journal because I'm really trying to prioritize therapy and journaling lately, so that is on my list as well. And taking some time away from social media and TikTok especially because it has just not been a really positive place for me to be. So those are some of the goals that I have for being more proactive in my recovery and taking steps outside of therapy, outside of social media to actually do the work for me outside of just being performative with my recovery online, because there's a lot of times where I post about being confident or I post about eating intuitively and I am just doing it because I want you to do it, not because I'm doing it. I want to make a good example for people, but I have a really hard time actually doing it myself. So trying to be more proactive for me. Back to the video. Good morning. I have therapy in about 3 minutes on Zoom. Good morning. I just finished my last therapy appointment with my therapist and I'm so sad. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you and I can't let go. People go around the world for love. They may never find what they dream of. But you want to for love. You have tried everything, but you don't give up. In my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you and I can't. Hello. So I just got done with my walk. It was about a half hour, 40 minutes, but I'm very tired. I have not been working out a whole lot lately, which is for the best because I've been working out in ways that are like stressful for me. Sometimes working out can be really triggering because it makes me think of wanting to lose weight, which isn't necessarily what working out is for. It's just for moving your body. Something that I've decided to do is when I do work out, I'm gonna try to eat breakfast before I go and then have my sort of caffeine after, because I used to always do caffeine, exercise, and then work out, which doesn't make sense because I'm hungry when I wake up. First thing this morning, I had my last therapy appointment with my therapist. I'm switching to a new therapist because my favorite therapist ever, she's leaving the department and switching to a new department, which sucks. We were talking today about how I was supposed to move this summer, I was gonna work this summer, and now none of the things I was gonna do this summer are happening anymore. Since I'm not gonna be doing any of the stuff that I had planned this summer, she was like, now is the time for you to really focus and be proactive in your recovery. And I was like, You're right. I know. It's like I can make it a full-time job now, focusing on recovering. So that's what I'm gonna do. This morning, after our therapy session, got dressed and got ready to go on a walk. Before my walk, I had breakfast. I had a sourdough roll with chickpea avocado mash and some, oh my goodness, there's always someone doing some yard work in my neighborhood. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, you know the drill. And then I put some artichoke hearts on top and some hemp seeds. It was really tasty. And then I went on my walk. While I was on my walk, I listened to this podcast. It is Food Psych by Christy Harrison. She's done a lot of episodes recently talking about anti-racism and racism in connection to diet culture and interviewing Black people, Black authors, people in like the anti-diet world. And it has been really amazing to get this like intersectional view, like connecting two things that I'm really passionate about, which is anti-diet culture and anti-racism. So connecting the two of them in a podcast is amazing. I highly recommend checking it out. I'll leave a link to the one I listened to in the description if you want to listen. But now I am so sweaty. I need to go shower. Today, I'm just going to be really proactive in my recovery. I'm going to do everything I can. Everything I can. Check out that cute post-workout body. Woohoo! So I'm all showered and dressed. I'm just wearing this thrifted dress. So it's originally from Forever 21, but it's just like a denim comfy dress. I'm all out of shorts. So I started some laundry. I posted a video. I posted my coming out video. I am going to go to the post office and run an errand for my mom and then come back and have a snack. I think I'm gonna have a smoothie because that sounds really good. It's pretty warm today. And I'm gonna finish listening to the podcast in the car. Off we go. Hello, so it is a little while later. I did some errands for my mom and then I went to the post office, and actually my mom and sister just went out to go run some errands of their own. I decided that this is the perfect time, since I'm going to be home alone for an hour or so, to work on a video that I've been wanting to do for a while, where I do like a cottagecore lookbook kind of thing. So I'm gonna work on filming that. I'm really excited. I'm gonna do like a summer cottagecore lookbook, and I'm gonna put on a little bit of makeup. In one of my recent videos, somebody asked me to do like a makeup tutorial of what I do for when I put on makeup. I'm just gonna do a little like informal makeup tutorial. I don't use a lot on my face just because I don't really like the feeling of stuff on my face. It kind of makes me anxious. I have a lot of old products here because I don't buy makeup very frequently, so I've had this for like 2 years. I know you're not supposed to use products that old, but here I am using it anyway. It's the Milk Makeup like cooling water thing. Some stuff has come out about Milk Makeup recently, which sucks, so hopefully they change and fire the racist employees that they have. And then I have more Milk Makeup. This is the Flex Concealer, and I'm just gonna put it over like the little red spots that I have and a little bit under my eyes. I don't use a ton of concealer just because like I don't use foundation because I don't like the way that it feels. I don't really have an order of the way that I do things. I just kind of do them like as I see them in my little crate. This is the Glossier Boy Brow in Blonde. It's pretty much gone. I think what I'm gonna do is refill the container with just some like Vaseline petroleum jelly kind of stuff, just to like gel my eyebrows a little bit, because I think the color of them looks good with my hair as is, so I don't feel like I need a ton. But I've had this for I think like 2 years, and I have no technique at all. I just kind of like brush through. I don't really know. I didn't wear makeup in high school. I kind of just started like 2 years ago kind of experimenting. I'm gonna curl my eyelashes, and I have 2 different mascara. Lash Slick from Glossier, and then I have a Lush Eyes Right one. I don't think I'm gonna buy either of these again. I think they're both good, but I'm gonna try to branch out. I know you're not supposed to do this, but I curl it again after I put on the mascara. Nothing too fancy. And then I do have a couple of different things for eyeshadow. I have a eyeshadow palette from Pacifica that I've used maybe like 4 times because I don't really know how to blend very well, but what I do know is that this cloud paint from Glossier works really well as blush, and I use it for my eyelids too, and I just like pat it on with my finger. I don't use brushes like hardly at all because I like don't know how to use them. I'm just putting this on my nose now. And now I'm just gonna put the same stuff like on my cheeks. And I always go a little too hard, so I like rub it off with my hand. All right, so now I look rosy and soft, which I love. It's like my favorite thing ever. Then we have just a couple more things. I have tons of fun eyelid stuff that I never use. I have 2 of these lid stars from Glossier. I was a big Glossier fan for a while. But I am gonna use my highlighter. I'll use this white Pacifica eyeshadow for my eyes sometimes, or I'll just use my Milk Makeup. What is this called? I don't remember what it is. Halo Scope isn't this. This is like their highlighter, but I'll just put a little glittery stuff on the inside and the nose. I'm a pretty like shiny person for the most part, so I don't put on a ton because like I just will start sweating and I don't need it. And then I'll do one of my Bomb.coms usually. These are both kind of dark, so I think I'll do the red one because it'll look good with like the outfits that I'm planning. Nice and light, just how I like it. I will sometimes use this mineral mattifying powder, mineral neutralizing mattifier. There's a spider crawling towards me right now. Hey little dude, can you not do that? Thank you. So I'll use this sometimes with this brush that I've had since like I was like 15, and I'll put this on my face when I get shiny. So I think I'm gonna do some on my forehead because like I want to pick the spots that I want to be shiny, which is weird. Like we only want to be shiny where we put our highlighter. Isn't that kind of weird? And that's pretty much it. Sometimes I do things that are different. Spider, I just asked you not to crawl towards me. So that's what I'm gonna do today, and then I'm gonna pick out some outfits and then film outside. I think I'm just gonna film it on my phone because that's what I've been filming on so far, because I did 2 outfits already. So I'm gonna go do that now. So it got really hot. I was doing a lot of outfit changes, and I am now hanging out by the pool because this was my last outfit, was my bikini. Hopefully you can hear me okay over the pump because it's like filtering right now. It's 2:20 and I should probably eat some lunch. So I think it's kind of late for me to eat lunch, but I just kind of got caught up in my projects that I was doing, and taking pictures of myself has been such a really fun form of self-care and like time for me to hang out with me. And I really love trying on outfits and stuff and going through my clothes. So it's become like kind of a self-care practice, like taking selfies, which sounds kind of weird, but it's been really beneficial for me. Just kind of hang out, and then I think I'm gonna go in and make a sandwich. So I put my dress over my swimsuit to come in and have some lunch because I got hungry. So for lunch I made a sandwich on one of the sourdough rolls with vegan mayo, avocado, tomato, tofurkey slices, and arugula, and I have some strawberries, and I think I'm gonna check to see if we have any chips to eat with it because that sounds really good. So no potato chips, but we have some tortilla chips. So I'm gonna have some of these with my sandwich and then go back into the pool. Hello, so it's a little while later. I'm sitting on the ground right now because the light in my room is really weird. So I'm about to watch the new episode of The 100, which is one of my favorite shows. There's a new one every week. And for a snack, I'm having some apple, some chocolate chips, and a spoonful of honey peanut butter, which I'm very excited to have. This afternoon, worked on some flower presses that I have on my Etsy shop. But yeah, I'm just gonna hang out and watch some of The 100. Hello, so it is a few days later. I think it's almost a week later from when I recorded this video, but I didn't actually get a chance to finish it because I was just kind of busy in the afternoon, and then after dinner I wasn't doing so hot, so I didn't want to finish recording. So I decided I'm gonna finish recording it now because I really enjoyed the beginning part of this video, and I think that I can like turn this little anxiety moment into a good lesson. So here we go. Later for dinner that night, my mom was gonna make a kind of diet food, and I wanted to talk a little bit about being around people who are dieting because it's something that I'm experiencing a lot right now. So my mom made these zucchini noodles, and she made this really yummy sauce to go on top that was like avocado pesto. My family had grilled chicken, and I had these little Gardein chicken tenders, which are my favorite. I love them. And I put chickpeas on top because I wanted it to be a little more filling. And I remember my mom telling me we were having zucchini noodles, and I immediately went into this like diet headspace of wanting to eat fewer carbs, wanting to eat less processed food, wondering like, should I even have the chicken tenders? I needed to go all in on eating clean, which like there's no such thing as eating clean, just like wash your fruits and vegetables. So I was all stressed about this dinner. So I ended up having a bunch of crackers before dinner. They are like sea salt type of crackers. I just ate a bunch of crackers and I had some chips and salsa before dinner. I enjoyed the diet food kind of dinner, and I enjoyed it from a place of like, my mom spent a lot of time making this meal. This is zucchini from our garden. We're making this food together. It doesn't have to be a time for me to like go back into like diet headspace. For dessert that night, we were going to have some berries, and I decided to have mine with some cookies that my mom made, which are a lemon lavender shortbread cookie. They were very tasty. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about like eating diet food and like enjoying it from a place that's not restrictive, because I mean, I can admit the dinner was really good. It's no replacement for pasta, but separately it was really tasty still, and I enjoyed it. Would I have preferred pasta? Probably, but this is something that like we made as a family. It was something that we were trying to like mix it up, try something different, and it was really good. Will I probably prefer to have pasta in the future? Absolutely, because I love pasta. But you know, being around people who are wanting to try diet foods, low carb, low calorie foods, it's inevitable. It's something that's going to happen in your life. And from someone who's coming from a perspective of recovery like me, I'm gonna be around people who want to diet, and like that's not my decision to make. It's their decision to make. How it affects me is also something that I have to deal with. I do make a rule with friends that like, you can only talk about your diet to me if I say that it's okay. I have to like verbally consent that it's okay for you to talk about it. And recently I was with a friend who was talking about a diet that she was on, and she said, is it okay if I talk about this? And I felt like I was in a good headspace, so I said yes. And I listened to her, and I was being a supportive friend to her situation. I did everything in my power to not let it affect my own recovery journey, because what I need is so different from what somebody else needs and someone else's choices. There's a lot of times where I want to scream from the rooftops like, diets don't work, diets fail, and there's like so much evidence to support that diets fail. 90% of diets fail. It's just gonna cause you pain now, but that's not for me to decide. Like, I can be a supportive friend and tell them that I love you the way you are. You are amazing the way you are, and I'm happy that you're eating foods that are making you happy. We can have conversations about it, but if it starts to affect me, I just have to say, hey, can we talk about something else? Because this isn't a good idea for me right now. It's hard. It is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's really hard because, at least for me, I start comparing what I eat to other people's a lot. But I just have to remember, like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I even choosing recovery? I'm choosing it for me and not for anybody else. I'm choosing it because I have goals that I can only reach if I recover. I think keeping these things in mind is really important. So I highly recommend making your list of things, of reasons why you're recovering, and keeping them handy so you can reference them when you need to, especially in situations when you're around people who are dieting or eating diet foods, or even if people are just eating less than you around you. It's really easy to start comparing yourself to how they're doing it, to how they're eating. So with my family and our meal, that was a little diety, and sometimes people say that my family eats too healthy. Sometimes people say that like maybe my family is not being as supportive in my recovery because we eat a lot of vegetables. We eat mostly vegetarian, vegan in the house. So I know people ask sometimes like, is it actually helpful? And honestly, like, I make my own food decisions. Like, my parents don't make them for me, I make them. If I didn't want to eat the noodles that my mom made, I would have made something else. But you know, like, I wanted to try them, and you know, later I had a dessert that was really good too, and I don't have to just like stick to one type of thing. Like, I feel like I'm at a point in my recovery where I can eat zucchini noodles and I don't feel triggered anymore to go back into a total diet mentality. And if you're not there yet, then don't eat the noodles. Just make your own. Or, I mean, sometimes people aren't always in that financial situation where you can buy your own food if you're living at home, but like, if you are, like, take it upon yourself to like put your own health needs first, and maybe spend a couple dollars on a box of spaghetti for you when your family is making something that makes you feel uncomfortable in terms of your recovery. Because like, please take your recovery seriously and make sure that you're putting yourself and your own needs first, because your needs really matter. And not only do they really matter, but they're vital and valid. This has kind of gone on for a long time, but I just wanted people to know, like, yeah, I eat sometimes foods that are considered diet foods, and I eat foods that are considered recovery foods, and I don't even really know what that means because fear foods are totally random depending on the person, and everyone's recovery looks different. And sometimes mine looks like eating a meal with my family that is like a diet swap food, then eating cookies and berries afterward because it sounded good to me. So all that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video of me like be more proactive in my recovery and doing things that will genuinely help me, because you know, there's a lot of times I take a back seat and I focus on other things. I hope that, you know, by watching me try to be more proactive, it might inspire you to be more proactive too. I know that this has been said since March quarantine started. There's a lot of talk about like using this time to lose weight and to get fit and to like this be your like glow up time. And like I'm looking for an emotional glow up before anything else, and I really hope that I can like set an example for you to try an emotional glow up and to take care of your mental health, because that is so much more important. Like I want to remember this time of being in my room as a time where I like learned about myself and I took care of myself, not a time that I like put myself through pain to maybe look different and maybe not, because like I said, diets don't work. Thank you for watching. Please stay at home. Wear a freaking mask when you go outside. I will see you in the next one.